I know you're dying to talk about JonasCon. I'm going to give you the floor.
Okay. JonasCon. It is exactly what it sounds like. It is a convention centered around the Jonas Brothers.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. I am not a Jonas Brothers fan. I want to make that perfectly clear.
Wait, why are you?
Because I think
Bursting
it's
at
going
the
to be
seams.
horrible. I think it's going to be terrible, and I want to go. JonasCon is March 23rd, which is next month. They announced it 3 days ago. I want to be clear, you can't even buy tickets for this yet. You go online and you can register. At the very bottom of the page, it says, tickets do not guarantee entry.
Is this going to be like Tanacon?
I think it's going to be Tanacon.
Hi.
Hi.
I wanted to mention that I really love your ponytail.
Thank you.
It's a good look for you.
You know what's funny is I was so scared of slicking my hair back for so long because...
You don't want to look like a greaser?
Yeah, I always thought that I had a small head and I thought that it just didn't look good. And then I just, you know what I did? It's the part. The part and then the slick. Because if you slick straight back, it doesn't look good. But if you do center part and then slick it back, looks fine.
You're making me want to wear my hair in a ponytail.
I think it would look really good. There's a trick to it. You have to get tools. You have to get like one of those like brushes that's like super bristly because otherwise it just looks like sweaty hair because it gets all greased.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. I stopped wearing my hair in a ponytail so much because I have crazy gray hairs, and people are always like, "What? I have a lot of grays. I color my grays."
Do you dye them?
Yeah. Sometimes I'll let them grow out, and it gets a little kind of like Storm from X-Men or worse, Tulsi Gabbard.
I feel like everybody is gonna be like, they look cool. They do look cool, but when it's you, then you're like, well.
Well, the thing about it too is like, okay, when it grows here, okay, sure. But I have so much, like when I pull my hair back, it's a lot of grays. So
your eyebrows look good.
Cover it. Oh, thank you. I need to get those done too. I fully cover the grays like once every.
Do you do it yourself?
Year. No, I
should
get
just
it
let me
fully
do
covered.
it.
I know. I don't know why you haven't
could
done
do
my
it.
hair yet.
We could film while it's in your hair, and then you could go home and wash it out. You know what we could do? I could like literally put it in your hair, and you could drive home and shower.
Yeah.
So easy.
I don't know why I have not taken advantage of the fact that you are a professional hair person. I hate you. I hate your hair. I hate you.
It's fine. I get it. What's happened in the world?
Well,
let me know.
You want me to just... do you want everything? Mm-hmm. Okay. What's happened in the world is...
We had SNL.
SNL.
It was good.
What was it?
I liked it. Did you not like it? I haven't watched a ton of SNL, to be fair.
I liked some of it.
Okay.
I mean, it was, it was a nostalgia fest. They tried to cram as many former and current SNL cast members, even though there were some of the original SNL crew that I thought would have more of a role.
They did. Like, they would acknowledge them, but I was hoping they would
weren't
come back.
They weren't in sketches.
No, it felt like the current SNL cast doing the stuff that they normally do, just with kind of like maybe the best of skits.
Yeah, they also had, of course, so many just A-list names or faces.
Did you look at the crowd? It was I mean, it reminded me of like the Grammys or like the Golden Globes or anything, but for some reason, because it was the SNL audience room, I was like, holy shit, like just looking.
Yeah, like why wasn't Dan Aykroyd in a sketch?
Right.
But Kim Kardashian was.
There was that one part where who was it? Seth from
Seth Meyers?
Yeah, Seth Meyers. He stood up and he was like, they were doing the Q&A thing with Tina Fey and Amy Poehler, who are so funny. Went too long.
I love them. Love them. I just think a lot of the sketches, it went on a little too long.
He stood up and he was like, is this just a way to include celebrities that weren't cast in like the main show? And they like did a little funny bit. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. That's what that is.
Yes, 100%.
Like, look who's here. Look who's here. You know who I haven't seen do anything for a long time? Zach Galifianakis.
Yeah, you know what? I was thinking about him
He
the other day.
popped up, and I was like,
Where the hell's he been?
I have the first thing where I go, did he get canceled?
He got stuck between the ferns.
He did. He's still between the ferns.
They let him out. They got him out just for the SNL 50, but
he's hungover. But yeah, he was like, and I was like, man, Zach Galifianakis, I think is still really funny. Between Two Ferns was, I think, a little ahead of its time comedy wise. A little bit, not far, but like a little bit. But I always thought that it was so funny, and he was so funny. But yeah, I haven't seen him for.
You know what? Now I gotta look up and see what he's doing.
He's probably done some indie stuff.
I guess he was in season 4 of Only Murders in the Building, which I haven't watched.
He was in like 7 episodes or something.
I've watched like half of season 1.
Same. I think I watched it up until like the murder, and then I was like, okay.
What else on SNL did you?
I watched. So I liked the Q&A that Amy Poehler. The Close Encounters was hysterical with Meryl Streep.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she was. Hilarious.
I was crying.
You know,
laughing.
that's her first SNL appearance.
I heard that.
Yeah,
which is. It's surprising. I could see her being somebody that doesn't really fuck with improv. Like live improv.
Yeah, she also, I mean, Meryl really for a long time was just a film gal.
She's classic like film. And I could see her not wanting to get up live and riff.
Yeah. And then she got into TV, you know, of course she played the mother in Big Little Lies.
Okay.
Which wasn't there supposed to be a second season of that show?
I don't know. I never watched it.
Oh, you never watched it?
No.
That show had a huge moment online. That was like a show that people of the internet would talk about.
They love it. The internet people. The people
that
live inside the internet.
Do you know
netizens is what they're called.
Oh, the proper term.
Yes. Which there's a true crime podcast that I listen to called Rotten Mango, and she always will refer to people as netizens because it's like people on Reddit, people on all the other social medias that are talking about these, you know, crimes that she's talking about. She says netizens. And I'm like, that sounds dumb as hell, but I do understand that there's not really another word for it. Like people on the internet, that just is like, it doesn't.
Freaks.
Yeah, little freaks.
Yeah,
little Reddit freaks.
Internet freaks.
Yeah.
I really liked the musical that John Mulaney hosted. I thought that was
about New York and drugs.
It was great. It was eccentric. It was dark. It was weird.
I love a musical.
I thought John was actually one of the best parts of the special.
Yeah.
I thought Eddie Murphy was incredible when he
always
played
like
Tracy
Kristen
Morgan
Wiig.
in Black Jeopardy. That was really, really funny.
Jenna Ortega looked amazing. Not relevant. I just kept seeing her.
That is relevant.
Also,
thank you for mentioning that.
Pete Davidson was there, and I want to talk about the untattooification of Pete Davidson.
Yeah, he looks like a naked mole
I'm
rat.
pissed off. He looks healthy and he has no tattoos. And I'm unattracted to him now.
Yeah, he removed the eye bags.
I liked him when he looked sick and tattooed. Sick and tatted up.
You know what's interesting is that I think a lot of his tattoos were really ugly. Like they were bad. Yeah. I'm also not a huge tattoo person, but it doesn't look right.
No,
when he stepped out, like it was like some, you know, in like some 90s, early 2000s rom-com when an ugly duckling female protagonist undergoes a glow up, right? Like they take her hair down, remove her glasses, put her through a glow up machine.
Yeah. Ugly Betty.
It was like that with Pete Davidson, but
he shed his skin.
Wrong.
Maybe he shed his skin like a snake.
I know. It doesn't feel right.
Oh, another thing. This was, I think Friday, was the Lonely Island medley with Lady Gaga. That was good.
That was great.
Tpain on stage. We have like one separation.
We really do.
From Tpain.
Always laugh at how Tpain is a streamer, right? It's not like he's a guy who's been on streams.
Right, like Post Malone.
Streams. Right.
Yeah, like he regularly streams. Yep.
He doesn't just make an appearance here.
One separation from Tpain.
You really are. Who would have thought? Who would have thought that we would be colleagues?
Not me.
With blame it on the alcohol. When we were getting down at like junior high, you know, awkward mixers.
So good.
You know, in junior high when like the boys would be on one side and the girls would be on another side of the room, and then they'd put on by Usher.
Yeah.
And everyone would awkwardly dance but not dance together.
Yeah, exactly.
Those were the days.
Yeah, my school was like that, but when I talked to my peers, they were like, yeah, you know the grind line? Somebody was talking about the grind
There was
line.
always the grind line.
Really? We didn't have that.
Oh my God.
We just danced
Well, this was in my Christian era, like my super duper Christian era. And so I was never a part of the grind line. But there were always the hoes in 7th grade.
There was always
the guys and the girls.
Yeah.
Hoe to me is a gender neutral term, by the way.
Yes.
They were the kids who, you know, were dating, were maybe starting to get into their parents' liquor. Mm-hmm. Like I remember in 7th grade that there was this girl who, this is awful now. Like, of course, now reflecting on it as an adult, but there was a girl who had taken naked photos of herself and sent it to, so she was a very, very popular girl. Sent it to the guy she was dating, who was also very popular. And then, of course, those photos made their way around.
That is so
the entire
terrible.
grade. And it was
when
flip
that
phone
happens.
days.
Yeah. Which is like, that
Flip
takes
phone days.
extra, because remember when it was flip phone, you could only have like 10 photos on your phone and then you'd delete one.
And I remember being in the girls' locker room and hearing people talking about it.
Oh, that happened to a girl from my school too. It was not a popular girl though, so it made it even worse, kind of.
Oh,
yeah.
It was something but at that age, I could not even fathom. Yeah. Like I could not fathom having a boyfriend in the first place. Yeah. Let alone sending naked photos. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, no. Gosh.
Yeah. So anyway, back to the junior high dances. There were always the kids who were
exploratory.
They were exploring via the grind line, and man, would it have been so awkward to be a parent teacher volunteer at one of those dances.
I can't even imagine being
where you just see like 13-year-olds awkwardly grinding. You're like,
yeah,
oh,
it's like you don't want to watch, but you have to make sure that they're like not. I don't even know. Kids are weird, and so you have to just stand there with like your. Do you think they were all plastered?
You know,
I like to think so. I think a lot of the chaperones got drunk for stuff.
Oh, I think with the kids. I was like, I don't know if people were getting blacked out at the junior high dances.
Did people get drunk at the high school dances at your school?
Yeah, but I
never did.
I was not aware of it until I was like a junior or senior that people drank.
I think I was the same. Kids from my school, I think, unless I was completely in the dark, were generally pretty tame. I think like people weren't going out to parties after school dances. People weren't getting drunk at school dances. People weren't grinding with each other. It was usually everybody would dance kind of like how you dance at like a wedding.
Yeah.
And then there would be like that one couple in the corner just like, and then you were like,
losing their virginity on the dance floor.
Like making out, and everybody would be like, privacy, I guess.
Speaking of weddings, there is a great debate on Twitter, of course. There's always a great debate, you know.
I love it.
Whether we are debating over, you know, how we should treat Nazis.
Yeah.
Or
which
we're debating,
is debatable, apparently.
You know. Or we are debating weddings, children at weddings.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the debate topics.
Ooh, whether we should allow children to weddings.
I don't even think it's like
I have a take on this. I have experience with this.
I don't even think it's necessarily like should you allow kids at your wedding. I think it's like arguing over children at weddings in general, where there are people who are saying weddings are for families to get together. Families include children. Like if you're having a wedding, you should invite people's children versus others who are like, weddings should be adult only.
Right. I have a take on this. Is this the conversation? Is whether you should...
The conversation, I mean, look, at the end of the day, it's whoever's getting married. It should be their choice on who they want to have at their wedding, right? But I guess let's turn this into yay or nay.
Okay.
Kids at
What
weddings.
do you think?
All right, well, I'm just going to start off by saying when I was younger, I was forced to go to the ceremony part of weddings, and they were always like 2-hour Catholic, very formal Catholic church services. Yeah. We would go to, you know, we would go to Catholic church where they were speaking all in Latin. And as a child, I would have to sit there for like 2 fucking hours and then we wouldn't get to go to the fun part. That was a common thing. So as a kid, it sucks. Yeah. Right? When you have to go to the ceremony and then you don't get to actually go to the party.
That sucks.
As an adult, I firmly believe in no children at weddings.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
No. It's a party. Like a wedding to me, the purpose of it is you're having a party.
I think that I think that kids at a reception is doable depending on what the what do you say? Because I don't want to say bride and groom because that isn't always what it is. The people that are getting married.
All right, you're so heteronormative.
I'm libbed up right now.
The people who are getting married, the married couple.
The married couple. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right.
Now we're, excluding polygamy.
That's what I'm saying.
Married throuple.
The main characters?
The people who are getting married, because that can be plural.
Yeah, the people who are getting married.
Maybe it's like 5 people getting married.
PWGM.
People who are getting married.
Sure.
Okay.
That's a lot of mouthful. Okay. The peeps. The peeps GM. The peeps getting married. The PGM. All right. So the PGM, depending on what the PGM want. I think kids at a reception is a little bit more doable because it's like a party where like kids will always ruin the ceremony. Like there's a crying baby. Yeah. There's a kid that's a flower girl and they
Interesting.
Sit down
so you're
cry.
a kids at the reception, not kids at the ceremony.
Yeah. But
like I don't want to fucking hear you when I'm making my vows.
No, exactly.
Okay.
So I had a wedding once. I always have to disclose that I'm not still married because I don't want anybody thinking that. But I did once upon have a wedding. I got married during COVID. So I had to do something. I don't talk about this very often. I had to uninvite over 100 people.
Ooh!
So
the B list?
Yeah, because I was planning my wedding. I had sent out invitations. I had bought
bad timing
invitations, and then COVID hit.
That's why you got a divorce. Mm-hmm. All started from there.
I sent invitations to my divorce also.
Yeah.
No, but I sent out invitations, and then COVID hit, and then we had a limit to how many people could gather, right? And so the limit was, I think, under 50 people or something. I don't remember. And so I had to go through the list of all the people that I had invited, and I had to Hunger Games it. Ooh. I had to whittle it down to the top, and I think the number was a little under like 200 people originally, and then I had to whittle it down to 50.
You had to get rid of like 3/4 of the list.
So I had to text or call, depending on how much I liked them, people and say, hey, I'm so sorry because of COVID, we're having to make the ceremony smaller. Sorry,
you're not A-list.
Yeah, because it wasn't like
gotta
we're canceling
cut ya.
it. And you know what's crazy? We had people try to they were like, well, can I Like there was this one old guy, and
he's like, well, can I still come?
You know what he asked? He said, can I come and sit in my car and just park it nearby and watch from my car? No! And we were like, no,
dude,
you can't do that because
why would you even want to do that?
Because like somebody's gonna go over and be like, you know what, Uncle Bob, come on in, just come on in.
Like, or they're gonna bring him a plate of food.
Exactly, and it's like we can't have that. So we had people that were like, please, can I get on the list? Like, can I get into the club?
Oh my God, your wedding was the wedding.
Yeah, it was like the hit. Well, we had the tortellini pasta, which was big.
Oh shit.
Yeah. But anyways, to get to the point, I said no kids. And it wasn't because of COVID. I just didn't want, it was kind of because of COVID. Basically, I was like, hey, you made the list, congrats, but your kids didn't. And I didn't want kids to take up spots on the guest list because they didn't give a shit. And it's like, so-and-so could come if so-and-so didn't invite their kid. So I told people not to invite their kids. However, I would have really wanted to do that anyways, because I didn't want to feed them. I'm not really a kid person necessarily. And so I was like,
have you ever been to an adults only wedding and thought, man, I wish there were children here?
No, some people do that like at like a Chuck E. Cheese, you know?
Yeah, or
they should have adult only Chuck E. Cheeses.
Yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of adult men who are like, man, I wish there were children here.
Yeah, if somebody walked up to me ever, an adult man, and said, "Man, I wish there was
don't
some
you wish
kids
there were some
here."
kids here?" You'd be like, "Hi, 911. Hello." So, okay, my thoughts are: it is obviously your preference, right? Nobody should bully you into doing something one way or another. There shouldn't be pressure on you. For me, my personal preference is no children, no kids at a
in
wedding.
the world.
Just gone. Just from this point out. No more kids.
Nope, no more.
Okay, we're
done.
That's it. Everybody who's been born, congratulations.
Sorry.
We're
cutting it off. Everybody gets
that means you,
in.
Elon Musk.
Yeah,
okay, no more children with your various baby mamas.
So he has like 13 kids or something, right? I saw this thing that was like, okay, so Elon has 13 kids. That means that there's unfortunate proof that he's had sex 13 times. But it
got community noted.
A couple of them were like IVF babies, so it was like there's actually
They're
no
like,
proof.
actually, no, this doesn't prove that Elon Musk has had sex at least 13 times. And we were all like, yay, thank God.
That is a horrible thought to imagine.
Sometimes community notes really come through.
They're funny sometimes. They are funny.
So anyway, it just like annoys me, this conversation. So I feel like we tend to have the same discourse.
Yeah.
Over and over and over again. And kids in public places is one where I'm sorry, that's crazy.
Yeah.
You don't have the right to bitch about kids being at a restaurant or something, right?
Yeah,
It's like, well, it's after 8:00. It should be okay, shut up.
Yeah.
And then also kids at weddings, which I do feel my preference is I'd prefer not have kids at weddings.
The PGW.
And what I've seen another round of is Sydney Sweeney being mid, and we need to stop. Can I ask that we just stop? That we just stop responding. Please stop taking the bait. Okay, please. We have to at some point. We've got to cut it off.
Sydney Sweeney,
we've got to cut off.
If you're watching this, thank you for being here, and also you are hot as fuck, and we know it, and everybody knows it.
It's just so. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous because now there are tried and true methods of going insta viral online.
Yeah.
And everyone's looking to go viral. Everyone's looking for engagement.
They want a piece.
And so every so often, the Sydney Sweeney is mid, or like some other A-list starlet.
It's like the seasonal
mid.
colds, you know?
It is. And it's like,
okay.
Where's the fucking vaccine for this?
Well, like they want.
So the vaccine is just, we gotta stop.
Yeah.
Okay. No more engaging with it.
No
more being like, oh, if Sydney Sweeney's mid, then what am I? Just
it's like when people make fake like they'll be like, oh my God, like the liberals are trying to say that Santa Claus is gay. And then it's like,
well, Santa Claus is gay.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Well, it's like there will be these like discourses where it's like, I don't actually know if people are really saying that. I think somebody tweeted it in order to get... So somebody who doesn't think Sydney Sweeney is mid was like, you know what I could start today?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. People be talking to talk and to get engagement and go viral. Because it works every time. God. It works every time. A tweet that says Sydney Sweeney is mid will get like tons of likes.
Yeah.
And then will inevitably be quote tweeted by a bunch of people who are like, oh yeah, why don't you show your face? Oh yeah, you think Sydney Sweeney is mid? Clearly you've never been with a woman before.
Yeah.
And
you can't win.
It just keeps going.
They're like
so can
gremlins.
we get something? Can we get something new? We need something new.
Somebody else to be mid or somebody else to be hot.
Entirely wipe out all of this boring, exhausted discourse. Okay, because it's not discourse anymore. It's not, and we gotta replace it.
We gotta start another rumor.
Yeah, like
I'm dating Bill Skarsgård.
You bitch.
Sorry.
Okay, wait. Are you a Bill or an Alex? Like, who do you? Both freaky guys.
Bill,
freaky little vibes.
And Alex. I need a picture of them like together side by side. Yeah, it's definitely Bill. Alex looks like one of my roommates from when I was like in my early 20s.
Oh.
Who was a great guy, but it's just a little too close. Yeah.
Okay. Or Stellan.
You know,
the father.
Well, you know what's funny is I never realized that their dad is Bootstrap Bill Turner.
Sometimes you pain me because you will pick an actor who has
I'll pick a weird role that
who
they
has
did.
an insane filmography, and like you'll choose that type of role. You'd be like, oh, Bill Skarsgård or Stellan Skarsgård, Bootstrap Bill.
Yep.
Oh, who did
The
you
Godfather.
do this to?
I said the dad and
Oh
Elf.
yeah, James Caan, the dad and Elf. I'm like,
Hey, when you know,
in pain.
When you know. There. Yeah.
when you know, you know.
Tracy Morgan's the guy that went to Google himself in Liz's office.
Ugh, that's true.
Yeah, it was a good
It
one.
was a great episode.
It was a great episode.
Like, I want to give you the name of an actor that you'll look up and go, oh,
What do you know them
that's she was the mom in an episode of like this.
Step Brothers mom.
Yeah.
We should do that. We should say like do an episode where it's where does Sam know this person from?
Yes. Yeah.
Um,
I know you're dying to talk about JonasCon. Just so you guys know. Just so you guys know, there's one thing and one thing only that Sam cared about going into.
I walked in the door and
going
I said,
into this episode, and
I'm talking about JonasCon.
this is also something that you had texted me about. So I'm going to give you the floor.
Okay, so JonasCon. It is exactly what it sounds like. It is a convention centered around the Jonas Brothers.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. I am not a Jonas Brothers fan. I want to make that perfectly clear. I'm not a Jonas Brothers fan. I never have been. I know a couple of their songs.
Wait, why are you?
Because I think
Bursting
it's
at
going
the
to be
seams.
horrible. I think it's going to be terrible, and I want to go. Okay. We're set.
Okay, this makes more sense now.
Okay, everybody sit down. So, JonasCon is March 23rd, which is next month. They announced it 3 days ago.
Yeah.
So, in a month's worth of time, they expect their fans to figure out a way to get to New Jersey at the American Dream Mall. Now, I want to be clear, you can't even buy tickets for this yet. You go online and you can register. So basically they're like, hey, when tickets are available, we will email you and you can try to get a ticket. At the very bottom of the page, it says tickets do not guarantee entry.
Is this going to be like Tanacon?
I think it's going to be Tanacon.
Freaking mess.
Do you know what the American Dream Mall is?
I don't know, but it sounds
Okay,
awesome.
It's the second biggest mall after Mall of America.
Mall of America.
It has like 80 different restaurants.
Okay.
It has a Ferris wheel. It has a Nickelodeon themed theme park in the middle of it. It has an indoor skiing resort.
What?
I know. And so the
God,
Jonas
America is awesome.
It's crazy. JonasCon is going to take place in this mall. I don't know if they're going to rent out the whole mall. I don't know if they're going to like section off a part of it, but they're saying that on the poster, I'm going to read off the things. So the poster looks like this.
Okay.
And I'm going to read off the things they're promising, and there's a couple announcing soon ones.
Yeah.
So they haven't announced
surprises.
yet. So here's what they're saying is going to be at this mall, or at this event. There's going to be live performances, obviously. Retail takeovers. I don't know what that means. So maybe the stores, they're going to like change up to all Jonas Brother themed things. There's going to be the Jonas Trading Post, Q&A panels, trivia, games. It just says games.
Okay.
Keynote events, interactive art installation, a Jonas Brother interactive art installation, a karaoke bar, DJ sets, special guests, camp rock bar.
Alcohol?
Mm-hmm. Z100 broadcast. Jonas Pizza. I don't know. It just says Jonas Pizza.
It's like bits of Frankie, or who's the one that they have in the basement?
The fourth Jonas.
The fourth Jonas. That it's bits of his
he's
flesh
serving
that
it?
they've served up as a pizza.
Come
and get
money's
it.
low. Exclusive merch, mini golf, and a Ferris wheel.
So what the fuck is not a part of JonasCon?
I don't know. I'm
What if
so
it turns out the Jonas Brothers.
they just don't show up.
They
That
don't
would be
end up
awesome. They wrote like a letter to their fans. It's basically like, hey, thank you for 20 years of being the Jonas family. We're going to be doing this event. So I registered.
Oh, you've already registered.
I registered.
Oh, you're on
because
it.
they haven't sold tickets, but
Did you register me?
I didn't register you. You should register you. And so when they announce tickets, obviously you have to be registered, and then they will give you the opportunity. And so if you go to the Q&A, I'm going to go to the Q&A here that we can read, because the Q&A is interesting. So under FAQs, it says, what is JonasCon? In celebration of their 20th anniversary, Jonas Brothers are pleased to announce JonasCon, a special one-day event taking place in their home state of New Jersey. This milestone event will feature live performances, DJ sets, Q&A panels, fan activations, pop-up surprises, immersive experiences, and special guest appearances to celebrate the band's incredible 2 decades.
Want to feel old? The Jonas Brothers are now 50.
Yep. Says, how do I purchase tickets? You have to register. What are the prices for tickets? And they say,
we don't know.
We're not telling you yet. Is there a VIP option? Yes, there's a VIP option. We're not telling you how much. What's the schedule for JonasCon? All of it is like TBD. We'll tell you.
And it's in a month.
It's in a month. At the very bottom, in the tiniest font, it says a message from our lawyers. I'm going to read this.
Oh, this is gonna be good.
JonasCon is presented by 3 Chord Strand Touring. TCS reserves the right, in its sole discretion, to amend, modify, or cancel JonasCon. The dates and hours of JonasCon or the terms hereof for any reason, including without limitations, as a result of fire, inclement weather, pandemic, illness, disability, act of God, or other force, major event, or safety concerns. TLC, so there could be an act of God, God's capitalized, that could cancel JonasCon. TLC has the right in its sole discretion to maintain the integrity of the JonasCon, to void registration for any reason, including but not limited to multiple registrations from the same user, different IP addresses, blah, blah, blah. But then it says this: registration and receipt of ticket does not guarantee entry. Security concerns and venue capacity may require us to restrict access. All guests will be required to cooperate and observe American Dream's guidelines for visitors. Tickets will be deemed to have $0 value. Access may be denied by TCS in TCS's sole discretion. I think it's going to be a shit show. I think there might be a ball pit.
Here's my question. Mm-hmm. So if this were Jonas Bros, Joe Bros, in like mid 2000s, so when my sister had the Jonas Brothers all over the wall, they would have screaming hordes of 14-year-old.
The mall would be
girls.
Full.
Now, what are the Jonas Brother fans like these days? So are we talking that this is going to be now people who are 30?
It's people our age.
People our age who are, storming the Bastille. Like,
I don't know what's going to happen. And I went on Twitter. And I just typed in JonasCon because I wanted to see like what people are tweeting about. I saw at least one screenshot of somebody who had bought tickets to New Jersey. Like people are already buying flight tickets and they haven't even released tickets yet.
Well,
I want to go.
Gotta fucking go.
I want to go. I want to go because I want to see. This is never going to happen again. They're not going to have a second JonasCon.
Also, everything that they have listed for this is insane.
Like Camp Rock Bar. Do you remember the Camp Rock March? No. Okay, I'm going to show it to you.
No.
Okay.
Camp Rock! Well, it looks like she just threw up a Nazi salute there for a second.
When I watched this, I was like, whoa. Okay. Whoa.
Not today.
But I do think it's going to be a disaster. And I need to see it. I need to know. I must know.
Well, then we got to go.
We have to go. Also, I think it's like 20 minutes from New York.
It's so close.
Yeah. And I've never been to New York before. Yeah.
You've never been to the Big Apple?
No, it could be a little
trip. New York, baby.
Imagine going to New York and then like going to this and then
the city
that's a
that
trip.
never sleeps. Oh, we should
trip.
We should go.
We should do it.
We should go. Also, let's see, end of March. It'll be cold, but hopefully not like freeze your tits off.
Yeah, I have a fur coat.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll just be, a couple of broads walking down Fifth Avenue.
Do you think we'll be old at JonasCon? I don't think
so.
No,
that's why I was saying, okay, who are current Jonas Brothers fans? Are we talking about people who have been fans of the Jonas Brothers since they were screaming 13-year-old girls, right?
Yeah.
And then they have aged into now screaming 30-year-old women? Or do they have young fans still?
I think they do have some young fans because they have. I was talking about this on stream. Jonas Brothers have managed to extend their time very well with like the appearances on things. Like they've been on SNL. Was they on The Voice?
Nick's doing Broadway.
Is it The Masked Singer or The Voice? Like they've poked into enough things over time.
Kevin had his reality show.
True.
With his wife.
Oh gosh. Is that what's the one where it's like Nepo babies that date each other? It's like a dating show for Nepo babies. You know what I'm talking about, right? With one of the Jonas Brothers hosts it? Surely.
What?
Claim to Fame.
Wait a sec, show me.
Okay, Claim to Fame. Here, let me just Google. Claim to Fame is an American reality competition series that premiered on ABC on July 11th, 2022. The series is hosted by Kevin Jonas and Frankie Jonas. It says, a number of contestants, each of whom has a famous relative, move into a secluded house together and are tasked with deducing which celebrities the other contestants are related to, while also keeping their own celebrity relationship a secret. Every episode, the contestants participate in a competition, most of which incorporate cryptic clues that the contestants can use in their deductions. So it's like Survivor, but instead of surviving, they just try to figure out who's a Nepo baby.
It's not like you're going to have like Lily Rose Depp on this show. Where people are like, no, I wonder who she's related to.
It's like so-and-so's, let's see, contestants. So season 1, L'Oreal Chanel Palmer, Keke Palmer's sister, was on it. She won. Logan Crosby, a cousin of Jason Aldean, Pepper Martin, granddaughter of Dean Martin, which I imagine they probably don't say their last names.
Right, because that would probably give it away.
Maxwell Norris, grandson of Chuck Norris. Like, it's that. So it's like children or, stuff where they're very directly related to a very famous celebrity.
Okay.
And so anyways, Frankie and Kevin Jonas host that show.
That is so fucking funny.
Yeah.
The third and fourth most relevant Jonas Brothers are the ones who host that.
I know. That's what I'm saying. The Jonas Brothers have lore.
No, they're still,
and it's interesting.
They're doing stuff still.
Yeah.
I just mean, like, I guess when I think of the Jonas Brothers, I think of early to mid 2000s.
The band.
Right? I think of the Joe Bros.
Yeah.
And then they split off and
Joe 3, I don't know.
Joe had his other band. Nick.
Jesus Jonas.
Nick had his solo career. Because I think Nick went solo first.
Yeah, they split off for a bit.
Kevin had his reality show.
One of them married Sophie Turner.
That was Joe.
Biggest loss by them.
That was
by losing her.
Big, tea and whatnot.
Yeah.
Nick married Priyanka Chopra, which was so random.
Do you remember when they did the music video where it was all of their wives in it?
Yeah. Well, now
wife guys.
They are wife guys. So I'm just trying to think of who is going to be at JonasCon.
Probably all of them. Can you imagine it's not all of them? It has to be all of them.
Kevin. No, but I mean also like what kind of fans?
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, right. I think it will be.
So because you asked, are we going to be old?
I think we will
JonasCon?
Be up in the cap other than people's parents. I would say it's going to be.
So sad to think
what?
Is that people who were Joe Bro fans back in the early days are parents now.
And that's why I think there's going to be young kids that will be like,
it'll be like, people will be like, I was a Jonas Brother fan, sweetie, when I was your age. And then people look at us and be like, oh, were you Jonas Brother fan and you brought your children here? We're like, no.
I want to go vlog it because I think because it's within a mall, I think streaming it wouldn't work very well. but I want to vlog it. I want to do like a vlog that's just like, I went to JonasCon.
I think we should do it.
I just need to know.
Yeah.
It's like a personal, like I need to know. Because if it's terrible,
you need to see
that would be awesome.
Because it would be legendary.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be legendary either way.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
All right. So last thing I think we should talk about, I guess, before our Let Me Knows is the BAFTAs were last night. So those are the British version of the Academy Awards. And the last Oscars precursor award show that we have is the Screen Actors Guild.
It's coming.
Then it's the Oscars. The Oscars is in 2 weeks.
It's coming.
So right now, it's actually pretty exciting because I feel like, especially the last 5, 7, 8 years, it's felt pretty clear cut by this moment. Like when you look at the overall award shows and you're like, okay, it's gonna be this. Especially last year. Like last year was very boring. Oppenheimer just dominated from the get-go. It was very boring. But this year, it's a little bit spicier. And we've also had the seemingly never-ending controversy of Carla Sofia Gascon and Amelia Perez.
Right.
And at the BAFTAs last night, Jacques Audiard, the director of Amelia Perez, gave a speech because Amelia Perez won Best International Film. Great. And he thanked everybody, including his dear Carla Sofia, who he said, that I kiss. That I kiss.
Good.
So that was fun. And everyone's kind of been waiting to see, like, is Carla going to make an appearance before the Oscars? She will certainly be at the Oscars because she's nominated. Yeah. Or is she kind of just hanging back? And is Conan O'Brien going to make any jokes about Carla Sofia at the Oscars? Oh. It's a really, really tricky spot to be in, where it's such a huge thing, and it's such a thing that is hanging over award season. It's the elephant in the room, right? And yet no one has really addressed it at any of the award shows. And so is Conan O'Brien going to,
I hope,
gonna crack a joke about it?
Just a little one.
Especially because she will be in the room.
Did you see the thing in SNL where Ryan Reynolds stands up and then they're like, "How are you doing?" And he's like,
"Why? What have you heard?"
Yeah,
that was their first appearance with everything going on.
I think it was staged, but Blake went when he said that.
Yeah, dude,
it's gotta be staged.
Can I just say another thing too? Okay, people are obsessing over Kevin Costner's reaction to Ryan Reynolds.
Oh,
can I just say, as somebody who constantly hates how perceived you are, like how perceived we are as streamers, where you have to be on, right? You have to be on at all times, because God forbid you're on a stream and you fall out of it for a second. You're tired, or you just don't react the way that you should, and then people will read into that shit.
Oh, they do.
We have to stop thinking that we're all body language experts. All right.
True.
And Kevin Costner, the camera showed him in the audience when the Ryan Reynolds joke, like with Tina and Amy happened, and he's literally just like looking like he's probably fucking bored. Okay? Or he's probably tired.
Yeah.
Or he's probably just like thinking about I don't know, Yellowstone.
Cher's hair.
And so now, people have been posting that. Justin Baldoni supporters have been posting the reaction of Kevin Costner. It's like, you guys just look so fucking stupid.
It's like he didn't know the camera was on him. Like,
all of this is pre-planned too. Yeah. So like the Blake's response, etc.
Right. Yeah, there was people who, like, for the Q&A section thought that it was improv. I was like, no.
They make a joke about how it's not.
Yeah, it's like SNL is very scripted. It's very funny.
Famously,
very scripted.
Famously, Lorne Michaels detests improv.
Right.
He does not. He has never been a guy who was like, you know what? Just fuck around. Let's see what you got.
Also, celebrities aren't always good at improv. Like Meryl Streep. Like Meryl Streep
Improv is hard.
She's very funny, but like you can tell by watching her on SNL, like she's not quite an improv gal, you know, in the way that like someone like, you know, Martin Short or like, you know, Steve Martin or Kristen Wiig like would be. But yeah, it's that you can't always trust the celebrities, and people also, improv is terrifying. Like it's very scary. There's a lot of streamers that do good improv shows that other streamers are like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And so you're going to get celebrities to be happy to come on SNL if you're like,
because
there's
it's
a card,
sketch. It's a
you
sketch
read
show.
It, you
Yes.
just be funny. Yeah.
Yes. That's why they get, as you said, talent, big A-list talent who otherwise would never do anything.
They know
that
they
was
get up there,
improv-based.
they read, it's all planned. It's all jokes are written. Yeah.
You think Kim Kardashian was improving?
No.
When she was guest hosting?
God, no.
No. Anyway, so we only have a couple weeks here before we have the Oscars, and it's actually pretty exciting because Anora has had a resurgence, right? So Anora that won the Palme d'Or back at Cannes Film Festival and really got a lot of attention over the summer, but then lost out pretty big at the Golden Globes. Yeah. And then Demi Moore, who emerged as the surprising front runner, or one of the front runners for Best Actress. Well, Mikey Madison just won the BAFTA last night.
Right.
And Anora has been winning really big. Anora won DGA, PGA, so Directors Guild, Producers Guild, also the Critics' Choice. Mikey won at the BAFTA. So they do not have the most Oscar nominations, but they've been nominated in very important categories and have been winning important awards shows. So I think right now, the race for Best Actress is between Demi and Mikey. I think Demi has the more powerful story, right? It's like the whole, comeback, aging actress who finds her
this is her shot.
Her second, the second half of her career where she really, really comes into her own, and she's finally getting the recognition that she deserves.
It also complements the substance too.
Yeah,
like her winning a bunch.
I think we could end up getting a pretty mismatched Oscars.
Yeah,
where you have, when you look at the acting categories, maybe we have Demi for the substance, but then nothing else for the substance. And then Kieran Culkin for A Real Pain, nothing else for A Real Pain. Adrian Brody for The Brutalist. Maybe Brady Corbet gets director there, or maybe director goes to Sean Baker because then also Anora wins Best Picture. And then you have Zoe Saldana winning Best Supporting Actress. And then Emilia Perez wins also Best International Feature. So it could be very mismatched here. Maybe Anora wins Best Picture, but then doesn't win any of the other major, like the big Oscars categories. Maybe I think Adrian Brody is ahead of Timothy. As far as the Best Actor race goes. I mean, he's won a lot of the critics, industry, and festival awards for that role. Club Chalamet is
fuming.
She's getting ready to nuke.
Yeah, she's outside.
She's getting ready to nuke the show.
Yeah.
And then what else?
Did you know Mikey Madison has a twin brother?
Yes, and he doesn't look Asian at all.
Super like redheaded kid.
I always like get kind of freaked out when I find out someone has a twin. I'm like, you have twins?
Yeah, it is like because
there's another one.
Being a twin
one
is such an interesting like thing, and it's just when somebody has a twin, that is pretty like wound into their identity.
Yeah.
I think, and so when you find out that somebody is a twin, like sometimes you just think somebody has like a sibling and they're actually like twins.
Especially identical twins. I'm like, there's another one of you walking around.
I know.
There looks just like you.
I know. There's like a pretty high, like if I were to have kids, there's like genetically a high-ish, higher than none chance, because there's There's twins. There's lots of twins in my family. So it could happen.
So if you only wanted one kid, then you'd have to get rid of.
I know.
Have to get rid of one of them.
I would send it away with its father, and then they would meet up at like a summer camp eventually and try to get us back together.
And they would take two halves of a picture and be like,
"Yep,
how could?" Then this means, and it's funny because they look exactly alike, but no one.
How would you know?
Right, no one would have suspected that they look exactly alike because they are in fact twins who were separated at birth.
Yep.
When I first saw Parent Trap, I thought there were two of them.
Oh, me too. I always thought
finding out that there was only one.
Yeah.
Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah, I thought that she had a twin.
How?
Yep.
Before you understood like movie magic,
they're
right?
both getting arrested for drunk driving. I don't understand.
There's only one?
Yeah. Have you seen Lindsay Lohan recently?
Yeah,
she looks great.
She looks insane. I'm telling you, there's this facelift that celebrity women are getting.
It's good.
And the thing about facelifts is it used to be a thing that like you know, when you were in your 50s, right? Okay, you got a facelift.
Yeah, and you could
now, I swear, facelifts, women are getting them earlier and earlier.
There's somebody in Hollywood,
and there is one doctor in Hollywood who has this crazy facelift technique down, and it's why actresses who have kind of messed up their faces via bad plastic surgery, addiction, fallen on hard times, suddenly are stepping out looking better than ever.
Yeah, because Lindsay Lohan was like kind of irreparably looking a little rough there for a bit.
She did some real damage.
She went through the ringer.
I love people being like, this is what getting healthy looks like. I'm like, baby, that's a facelift.
Yeah, it's
okay. No.
It's like she would
That's tens of thousands of
eventually
dollars.
start to look much healthier from, like a clean lifestyle, but she looks like
no, this is plastic surgery.
Yeah,
okay. This is not like, I just quit drinking and doing drugs all the time.
God, I should do that.
Quit drinking and doing drugs or drink and do drugs all the time.
That's why I have a tight ponytail, because it works
free
too.
Facelift.
No, I'm telling you, like because I'm at the age where I'm starting to notice like this area.
Just a little
bit like less. But when I do a tight ponytail,
pulls that shit back.
It does.
Yeah.
It works. Should we finish with our final favorite segment?
Yes, we should.
It's time for
Let Me Know.
Mine is something that most people know about, but I just can't stop thinking about it. The fucking anglerfish.
She's everywhere.
She's everywhere, and she makes me cry. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, there was a deep sea anglerfish that you might recognize from that scene in Finding Nemo where it's the big scary fish that has the big teeth.
But they turn out to actually be really small too.
It's like this big.
They fit in the palm of your hand.
A little baby.
She's just a little guy.
So a deep sea anglerfish, which they live about 1,000 kilometers, I think, under the ocean. They're deep sea, so they live down at the parts that have no light. And there was one off of the Canary Islands, I believe is where it was. There was some scientists that were out there studying sharks, and they managed to see one that had swam all the way up to the surface, which doesn't happen. Like, it has happened, but it just doesn't happen.
It's uncommon.
And because they're down so deep, we don't get to see them alive, like, ever, because when we're down there that deep, it's obviously hard to get like a sample, and we don't just go down to the bottom of the ocean very often. So we don't usually get to see live specimens of it. So these scientists were filming her, and obviously she died shortly after because the difference in pressure and temperature and so many different things, just like but anyways, there have been heartbreaking memes. I don't even want to call them memes.
I saw the one about the sun. Like, to feel.
Have you seen this one? And for my last day, I will go see the sun. Like, people have been commenting like, she just wanted to see the light that she didn't make herself and feel the warmth of the sun. Like,
one time.
It's fucking sad, man. Like it's so like it's just like,
What does this
fish.
what does this say about the state of humanity?
We needed
when,
her.
You know, people last year, before the election, right? Everybody was really feeling the power of Mudang, the wholesomeness of Mudang, and then that fell off after one Mudang picked Donald Trump, and everybody blamed a tiny baby hippo for Donald Trump becoming president. But also, just that wholesomeness only lasted a moment. But now we're in a moment where an anglerfish swimming to the surface.
She is all of us.
Has devastated
me.
People. You.
I'm people. Yeah, it's there's just so much art that's just so touching, but like it's this little thing too. It's like 6. I think they said she was like 6 inches.
You know what's especially sweet about it is because she is like, you Google, you know, top 10 most terrifying things about the ocean, or just when people picture the deep, dark ocean, right?
Yes.
A place of nightmares. The anglerfish is a creature that lives down there.
And she seems to be giant.
It seems to be massive, right? Like a giant squid or something. And so it's kind of this juxtaposition of this creature that lives in your nightmares, like in the deep, deep dark. That's so scary looking, right? It's all teeth and antennas. And, you know, having her in the light, right? Like this monster, or who we thought was a monster, who actually is not a monster after all. Do you see yourself in the anglerfish?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Is your empath?
I feel empathy.
I
feel more empathy for this fish than I do for like people, I think. Like I need her to know. I need her to know how special she is. Okay, you go, please.
All right.
Change the subject.
Mine is, as I said earlier, people who have just let themselves off the leash of being total fucking assholes online, but then acting like the victims when they get called out on it, right?
Right.
If you're gonna be an asshole online, I'm sorry, but you get it thrown back in your face.
Right.
Okay? If you dish it and you simply cannot take even an ounce of it back, and not even someone being mean back to you, but just being like, hey, you're a jerk.
Right.
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So this is
Like,
about
actually, and then they utilize their Twitter blue.
So have you seen A Different Man yet? With Adam? Oh, it's so fucking good, man. It's so good. It's Adam Pearson and Sebastian Stan. And Adam Pearson is a British actor, television host, activist who has neurofibromatosis. So it is a condition that produces tumors on his face. So it is a very visible disability. Yeah, it's a very visible disability.
He got snubbed from getting an invite to...
He was not invited to the Golden Globes.
Right.
I have said like shame on award season for really largely ignoring A Different Man.
They utilized him.
After it won Best Film at Gotham.
Yeah.
At the Gotham Awards, which was this really exciting moment. And then it has... It's just not gotten the attention that I think it deserves. And I think Sebastian Stan is great in it. And I think Adam Pearson is also fantastic. So I've watched a lot of interviews of his. I've become a really big fan of Adam's, and he is so funny. He's been a disability advocate and activist for a long time, but he's very adamant
nice.
that he's not, like, his whole thing isn't just being an activist, right? Like, he, as somebody who has this very visible disability, and one that causes people to stop in their tracks, right? You know, when you're somebody like that, I think activism is something that often can feel kind of forced upon you. And especially as somebody who is an entertainer like him, you know, there's not a lot of people with neurofibromatosis who are in the spotlight. So I think he has embraced his role as an activist and an advocate, but also, like, he shouldn't only be he shouldn't that's like not just who he is entirely. You know, he's a really, really fabulous actor, a very, very entertaining host, great performer. But anyway, So somebody tweeted a screenshot of Adam Pearson's headshot and Camila Cabello's headshot at the BAFTAs because it was the seating chart. And so it's this.
Right.
So he's here and she's here. And they said, this is genuinely so scary. So, okay, what a awful thing to say.
Yeah.
Right? And then people in the comments were, of course, disgusting.
Yeah.
Agreeing with that commenter. Also, this person has an Ariana Grande profile picture.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not shocking.
So Adam responded to this tweet and said, luckily for everyone, you're not Camila Cabello.
Yeah.
And most importantly, we're invited.
Mm-hmm.
So from me, Adam Pearson, directly to you, tagged the account, take your nonsense opinions elsewhere as I have exactly zero time for your anonymous ableist nonsense. Like, that is so valid of him, right?
Yeah.
Very, very valid. And also, he was not mean to her in the initial way that she was just point blank.
Yeah, just
cruel.
mean. Yeah.
She's just being a bitch.
Yeah.
Okay. So then the original poster tweets at Adam Pearson, and in addition to other people tweeting at Adam Pearson who are supporting her, and she said, I made an insensitive joke and deleted the tweet. First of all, that's not a fucking joke. You knew exactly what you're doing. And deleted the tweet when it had less than 200 likes. I addressed you and apologized. I deleted the tweet before you had even made a post about it. You took that tweet and turned something that was already deleted into thousands of people harassing me and sending me death threats and news articles made about me. I'm going to call bullshit on that, okay? I'm going to call bullshit on thousands of people harassing and sending her death threats. This is always the cry bully shit, right? Where somebody who's done something awful then will then turn it into, woe is me.
Yeah.
I'm getting all of these death threats, which is like, first of all, I don't think that's true. Okay? I don't think that's true. Second of all, you don't get to cry about this because
like you were mean,
a fucking jackass.
Yeah, needlessly mean.
Yeah.
It's not even like I misspoke because I didn't understand. It is like you were mean and you knew you were being mean.
And you knew you were being nasty.
And as soon as it got traction, because this happens all the time where people will tweet something bad and then as soon as it starts to get traction, they go, oh, oops.
Shit.
Like I didn't think people were going to see that.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the post says, as a celebrity, especially one with a disability, you already know you're bound to get comments. Okay, that's saying that it's his fault.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like,
okay. You
like,
already
you
know you're
expect
like,
this.
what do you expect?
Yeah.
Hello. Does that make them okay? No. But using your platform to send people to harass everyone who makes a comment about you isn't either. I'll take the backlash because I know what I said wasn't okay. Go ahead and keep your tweet up because I personally don't care. Really, it seems like you do because you made a whole ass post. But use me as a lesson to not do this to other people moving forward.
Oh, go
no, you don't get to
yourself.
fucking do this.
Yeah.
Okay, you are not taking some sort of high moral ground here. You're
I
the
did something
bigger
bad,
person
but
here.
you defended yourself and that hurt me.
You were cruel
Yeah.
about his disability.
Yeah.
And now you are acting like you're the motherfucking victim here. No, girl.
Nah.
And the thing is, too, is that Adam Pearson being a celebrity, right, with somebody he has a bigger platform than her, there's not an equation here, okay? Now, a lot of times, of course, you know, of course, we can talk about how people with big platforms will weaponize those platforms. That is not what he was doing.
No.
Also, he doesn't have that huge of a platform. This was people who saw this tweet even before he did.
She made the tweet
And who
go
were
viral.
like, fuck off. These are not Adam Pearson stans who are being weaponized on his behalf to go harass this poor girl.
Yeah.
These are people who saw a nasty tweet and went, hey, you're a fucking asshole.
Yep.
So Adam then Adam responded again and then was basically like, well, I hope, you check yourself before you're ableist again. But he ended up deleting the tweet just because he doesn't want to have to deal with this stupid shit
Because he's always going to get the shit end of like a situation because people are just going to be mean.
Yes. And anyway, so that person, by the way, that apology is not genuine because they made another account to just go in on this stuff again. Yeah. And they are feeling very, very great about themselves. And Perfect. So I just feel like, I'm going to say this, okay? If you are being nasty like this poster was, you deserve everything thrown back in your face. Okay? Yeah. You're not a victim.
It wasn't a mistake.
No, you don't get any sympathy.
It wasn't a misstep. No. It was you bullied. That was a targeted bullying. Yeah. And people clapped back. And that's what it is.
And you deserve that.
Yep. It's like you shat where you ate.
You did. You did. And if I'm Adam Pearson and one of my roles is I am a disability advocate. Yeah, I'm going to stand up for myself, okay? Right. And I'm going to point out the fact that somebody who is like this person who tweeted that nasty thing is being ableist.
Yeah.
Yeah. This isn't just, this isn't being like, man, I don't really like so-and-so's new album. And then that celebrity comes after you.
Right.
In a crazy way. Right. Where it's like, Jesus, you can't state just that you didn't like
exactly
this album. Yeah. That's not what this is.
No,
it's not that.
Yeah, they suck.
God, everyone has really just gotten, as I said earlier, stupider and meaner. And now everybody wants to cry victim too. Right? It's being really mean. And then when you get called out, it's either you double down or you paint yourself as a victim or both.
Yeah.
Everybody's being so mean to me when I didn't do nothing.
Yeah, it's like,
okay, sure. What I said maybe wasn't that kind, but I'm just a nobody on the internet. It's like, no, you are somebody.
Like you've decided that you want to get
a person behind that account.
You wanted to get into the ring.
Exactly. Exactly.
Like, okay, put them up.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Everyone just needs to
be nice. Stop supporting people that aren't nice.
Yeah. I think about that anglerfish in her final moments.
You know what?
How she hopefully had peace.
Yeah. She doesn't need to know the internet exists.
She doesn't.
She just was going to find the sun.
Well,
anyways, thank you guys for being here.
Thank you,
Thanks
everyone.
for listening in. We're going to film the Patreon segment where we're going to answer your burning questions. And I got a special request on my stream that we just vent for 10 minutes each.
I feel like I kind of just did.
Yeah. We covered it, but maybe, I don't know.
I mean, there's always things.
Maybe.
Oh, actually.
You've got one?
Oh, do I have something?
Okay.
Yes.
But thank you guys so much for joining. We appreciate it. If you would like to hear us vent about things, I guess we'll try it. Let's try it. Okay.
Are we putting like a time limit on it?
Yeah. 5 minutes. Let me know for 5. Let me know's hot 5 minutes.
And then...
let them know. That's what we call it.
Are we finally going to get back into...
Movie? Is that what you're going to say? Yeah, we're going to do movie of the month because then it's easier for us to watch it.
Okay.
All right. So anyways, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
We'll see you next week, everybody.
Bye-bye.
You need to be free.
Bye.
Move. Body move.